Hey guys, so today I'm going to show you quite a few things in InDesign. Specifically, I'm going to show you what we worked with in class before, which was making the cover for your chapbook. I'm also just going to show you some real basic things with some of the tools over here, such as just adding an image, editing that image, adding text, editing that text, and just a couple of these other tools. Most of them, unless you're going to be doing a lot of graphic design, posters, things like that, all the time, you probably won't be using a lot of these, but we'll just show some basic ones that are kind of fun to play with. So let's get started here. Oh, plus I'm going to show you a few things that I've made in InDesign before. But first, we're going to go ahead and make a new cover for our chapbook here. So I'm going to go File, New, File, New, Document. And we want to make sure we are in inches. And we're actually set correctly right now as is. So you want your width of your document to be 11 inches, your height to be 8.5 inches. So that's a regular, just a standard printing size paper, which is what we use. You're just going to have one page, of course. You will need to have 2 columns since the cover of a book has 2 sides. So make sure you have 2 columns. And then make sure your gutter is the lowest it can be. So that is 1.25. Same for your margins. You want them to all be as small as possible. So make sure they're all at 1.25. Just kind of look this over real quick. Make sure your document looks the same as this. And then hit create. So great, there we are. We've got our blank document here. I just wanted to address too, we kind of addressed it in class, but I didn't think about it with the last tutorial I made. I was in a different editing mode than what you guys are on. I believe you're just all on Essentials Classic, and I'm not even sure you have the option that I was doing the previous tutorial under. But I don't think that's going to be a big deal. I'll just kind of show you the differences here real quick. So in your Essentials Classic, your pages will be right here. And all of your major tool options will show up at the top here. So the difference in the other Essentials is that all of your different options for your tools over here are going to actually show up in properties. And I actually like this a lot better, this layout. It's a little easier to just get through and manage and utilize all the different things you can do with these tools. But I'm not going to go much into depth. Sorry, I don't think the computers you have are offering this quite yet. Hopefully at one point. So I'm just going to go back to Essentials Classic. And there's all different types in here you can use. There's one specifically for books, typography. You can just create your own and save it. But anyway, we're just going to do Essentials Classic. So I just wanted to address that before we get into anything. But here we go. So here is our blank book cover. And of course, this is like the spread of a book. So this is actually going to be the front of your cover. This is actually going to be the back of your cover. So let's just start out with adding a title to our cover. So you want to use your type tool over here. You just click on it. And then to create a new text box, you just click and drag. And I'm going to actually drag mine all the way out to the edges. And to do so, I'm going to hit my selection tool here, the black arrow, grab the little handlebar on my box here, and drag it all the way out to the edge of the margins. The reason I'm doing that is just so it's easy to center the words of my title on the book cover. So here we go. So to be able to type back in there, you can double click it. And let's see, what should I title the book? I'll just right now do my thesis, so I'll just work off of that. I'm doing a thesis called Background Noise. So that'll be my title. And to edit that text, you just highlight it. And all your different text options are at the top here. So here's your font options. Let's do Oh, I'm already using this in my thesis, so I'm going to use this creep, I guess, text. And then to change the size, this is your font size. And if you're ever not sure what these tools are, you can hover over them and they'll kind of just say what they are. It might help you out a little bit. So I'm going to change that size to, let's see, 72. Yeah, that's pretty good. And what's this guy? Oh, there's your regular or italic. So that's your font options. If your font has different sizes of font or different styles of font within the font, that's where they'll be. This is the spacing. So say I had another little title under background noise. So let's do, or my name. You could do your name under it. So I'll do Sharon Cole. So I'm going to do that in a different font here, just to change things up. And I'm going to do it smaller. Let's do like 8, nope, too small. 24, nah, let's do bigger. 30? Bigger. 36? Yeah, that's alright. Okay, so this little guy is leading, so that's the space in between these two. So if I want to mess with that, I can highlight both of them, or you have the option just to highlight one and kind of mess with it. But let's do both, and we'll mess with the spacing. So normally it's on auto, but you can push them closer together or farther apart, depending on what you want to do. Sometimes you could really do some cool stuff with layering, but you got to be careful with that, make sure it's legible. So I'm just going to do it pretty close, but not touching. Let's do like 24 and see how that looks. Yeah, it's not the best, but I'm going to go with it for the tutorial. So I actually like it over there in the left like that, but if you wanted to change the text orientation on the page, here's your options there. You got left align, you got center, and you got right align. So I'm going to keep it over here in the left, I think. And what else can we do? I don't know, those letters are kind of close together. I'd kind of like to space out the lettering. So that's called kerning. And that, well, tracking, I guess. Okay, kerning, tracking, kind of the same thing. So that we do with our tracking button. So I just want to space out the letters in background noise. Excuse me. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to highlight background noise, and I'm going to adjust the kerning with these little arrows here. So if I go down, they'll get closer together. You could really squish them. Or if I go up, I can way space them out. So I do that quite often with text, actually, especially in titles. I don't know, there's just something about it. I really like the look of it. Oops, spelled background wrong. There we go. And I actually like it spaced all the way to the margins there, so I'm going to leave it as is. Let's check on this one. Maybe I'll space it out a little too. Nah, let's keep them the same. So you can just go back to 0 to make it how it would normally appear. Let's see, what else do we got? So this little guy here is to change your text color. So I'm going to change this to, let's see, let's do a red. And it's always going to give you these basic swatches to work with. But you can change those further here. So let's just choose red for now. But say I want to kind of edit that. I don't want it bright red like that. I can just highlight it. And down here you see you have the little red T that's representing the color of your text there. So if you want to change that further, you can double click it. And you get this little color wheel, so you can get any color of the rainbow you want in there. Or if you have a code, like a web code for a color, you could type that in. Or if, say, I already had a picture in here and I wanted to use a color for my picture for my text, I could use this little eyedropper and find that color. So, oh, I can even pick up the guides. That's random. Okay. Anyway, cancel. Never mind, I like the red, so I'm going to keep it that way. And this little option below your color tool for your text is an outline tool. So it'll just put an outline around your text. So you can do that in any color as well. Sometimes that's really nice when you put text over an image or something that's kind of hard to read, you can put that outline and pop it out that way. And I kind of like that. I don't know. Let's see. And I believe it's been a little while, but let me see here. Yeah, okay. So to change the stroke of your outline on your text, say that's a little too thin for you, you want it a little thicker, you just highlight that, and you go over to this menu here called stroke. Oh, gosh darn it. Highlight, go over to this menu called stroke, and you can change the weight or the width of your stroke with this little tool here. You can see it makes it really thick or really thin. And that's kind of cool. It's kind of patch-like. Yeah, not so cool. Oops. Or you could just do parts of it too. So it's really nice. You can edit every little letter how you want it to be. I think I'm just going to keep it at 1 for now. And there's just all these different options on your stroke here. You can see just how the joints are on the stroke, if they're really straight and narrow, if they're kind of curved. I usually don't mess with that too much, but it's there if you're interested. I'm really not sure what meter limit does. Let's see. Nope. I don't know. But I wouldn't worry about it. Alright. So we've got a stroke on there now. We've got our title going. Ugh, I gotta change that font. That's awful. Let's see. I can't remember what I'm actually doing here. Let's do... Sorry, now I'm getting all obsessive. This isn't real, Sharon. You don't have to make it look good. Okay, never mind. I'm gonna just do that. Okay, 1 second. Then I'll keep going. Okay. Name's kind of lame, but it's fine. We'll leave it there for now. So great, you put your first piece of text on your cover, and it's your title. I'm going to move this down a little bit here. Oops. Again, I know Chad showed you this in class, but you do have the rulers option here too to help you align things. So you can double click it to get it exactly where you want it here, at 1 inch or at 2 inches, and you can use that to kind of align your things within your document. And you just double click them. Oops, I thought you do. Or just click on them and hit delete to get rid of them. I think he just clicked on them, but I usually just click on the actual guide and delete it with my delete button on my keyboard. So there you go though. There is your text in your book here. So I'm going to take a quick break here, and I will get to adding some images in here. So 1 second. Alright, I'm back. Got a fresh Diet Coke ready to go. Okay, so let's say, what do I want to do with this cover? Let's say I want to add an image that goes all the way across this cover. So it'll be on the front here and continue onto the back. So how I'm going to do that, I'm going to draw an empty box, which is your frame tool here. It's the box with the X. I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to click and drag it all the way out here, all the way to the edge of the document, just so I have some bleed there. And then to add an image to that box, I'm going to go File, Place, and I'm going to search for an image here. So let's see, what do we got? How about this weird wood stuff that's going on? So I'm going to double click it. It's going to add it in there. And there's multiple different options for your images in InDesign here. Not a whole lot of editing you're able to do, but a little bit. So to resize this, you can just right click it and do fitting. And there will be different options here for your fit on your document. So you can fit content proportionally, which is what I just did, which added the whole image in within the box there. You can fit proportionally, which will just fit within your frame all the way proportionally. And if that's still not working for you, there's another way to resize your images, which is to double click on it, and you'll get this brown box in here, which is the actual image within your frame. I mean, you can actually grab the handle here, hit shift, and it'll resize it within proportions as well. Remember to always hit shift though when you're doing that. If you don't, I'll show you in 1 second. If you don't, it won't do it within proportions, so it will distort your image. Nobody wants that. That's no fun. So undo. Okay. Actually, I kind of like it just how it is, so good deal. So I'm going to click off of it here. And oh no, where did my text go? It's actually behind my image right now. So to bring that text in front of this image here, what I need to do is rearrange the objects on this paper. So how to do that? I right click, select arrange, and I'm going to send this image to the back of the file here. So there we go. So my background noise popped up there. It's a little lost within that black line there, so I'm going to move it down here. And actually, with this picture now in here, I've decided I want to center my name, I think. So I'm going to highlight my name within my text box, and I'm going to hit the center option. See how that looks. You know what? Never mind. I'm just gonna get rid of my name. I just wanted to say background noise. I want to be all artsy, so I'm gonna do that. So yeah, there we go. Another cool thing you can do, maybe to just vamp up this image a little bit, right click, and there's this effects option. And you can hit any of them, it doesn't matter. It's going to get you into a main menu for all of them. So we'll just hit transparency. And it'll bring up this little box here with all these different types of effects you can do on the image here. So you could do transparency. So I could actually just knock down the visibility of the image, which is really good when you're working with text. So you can kind of fade it out and your text is easier to read. There's also these different blending modes. I'll actually show that in 1 second here. So let me actually get out of here. I'll say cancel. I'm going to put another image in real quick just so I can show you those blending modes. So I'm going to draw out another box over my image here. I'm going to do file, place, and I'm going to find something I want to blend with that wood here to make just a really weird, cool cover. So let's try this random texture-y dude. It's kind of cool. I already like where it's going with everything, so I'm not going to change the orientation or how it's spaced or anything. So good. And I'm actually going to send this backwards so my text is above it real quick. So right click, arrange, just send backward. I don't want to send it all the way to the back. So there we go. And I want that wood popping out of this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to right click. I'm going to go to effects, transparency. There's different things I can try out here. So I'm going to zoom out real quick so I can see my cover a little better while this big ass box is in the way. Oops. Oh, it's not gonna. 1 second. And I just want to show you a shortcut real quick for zooming in and out of your document. If you hit Control minus, you can zoom way out. If you hit Control plus on your keyboard, you can zoom in. So I think that's a lot easier than the other tab wherever it's at. But anyway, let me zoom out real quick so this is going to be easier to see and move things over. Okay. So again, right click, effects, transparency. Let's just play with this, and always make sure your preview button's hit so you can see what you're doing. Let's try a different blending mode. So there's all different types here. These you use a lot in Photoshop, so I'm pretty familiar with them, but you can just play around with them and see what happens. So let's try multiply. That's pretty cool. So you get a lot of the texture of the other image with the wood. Try screen, kind of a faded look, multiply, overlay. So yeah, all different types of things you can do, and they're pretty cool. But I already know, I liked that multiply. Let's see if we need to fade it at all just to see what happens. So I can turn down the opacity and fade that image out a little bit. Yeah, I think I like that somewhere in there. Maybe right there. Hit OK. Let's zoom in and check it out a little better. And again, you're viewing this in an editing mode right now. To see it, how it's actually going to look when you print it, you need to go to this little button here. I don't know what you call this, your screen mode, I guess. Right now I'm in normal, which is just your working view. So let's hit preview. And then another thing, you want to do view overprint preview, because if you don't, everything's going to look pixelated. You want to make sure things aren't pixelated, so we want to hit overprint preview, and then it'll show it as it's actually going to print. So that's pretty cool so far. Not bad, not bad. Let's go back to normal mode here. And I don't think I like that outline anymore on that. Maybe we'll try a different color. So let's try a white outline just to see. Just want to see what happens. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Yeah, okay. Okay, I'm back. Since this tutorial is getting a little bit long, I think I'll do some of the other tools here in another one. So right now I'm just going to show you some things that I've worked on before in InDesign just to kind of see what you can do with InDesign. So here's a poster I did for Plains Writer series. Let's zoom in a little bit here. I have a lot of different elements in here. Different shapes to kind of highlight different things going on in the event. Let's hit preview and see it in preview mode. So, yep. And you can tilt your text there. You can see I did that. Let's do direct selection tool. And you can tilt your text just by hovering your arrow here and getting that little double-sided arrow. You can turn it and do whatever you want with it that way. Sometimes it kind of distorts it a little bit, just a warning, but usually it's not too bad. So inserted different pictures in here for the authors, and then I created these custom shapes in here, and I'll show in a different tutorial. Maybe I'll just work with this and kind of show you how I did that with these tools over here, made them this specific shape. So another thing I've done is what Bob says, which was Barbara Schmidt's Barbara Schmidt's book. Just kind of see what we did there. There's my copyright page, title page, copyright page, acknowledgements, and all of the poems in there. Table of contents. And I've actually just recently made my resume here in InDesign. So this is my first time actually doing a resume in here, but it's really nice. So I just made like a 3-page document, and I added these little details in here with the pictures. Let's do preview mode again so you can kind of see it better. Zoom in. So I have everything I've done, my different skills here. Oops, let's do view overprint preview so that image looks better. And then I do artwork, so I put my artwork within my resume, but I didn't want it to be too obnoxious, so I just kind of put it on the side here, and then I layered a box of color over it, and I did what I showed you before. I kind of just edited the box over it to be more transparent, so it just kind of shows through. So I'll just right click and show you that real quick. Right click, effects, transparency, and you see I'm on a normal blending mode, and I just have it at 80%, so it's just showing through. So yeah, all different types of things you can do in InDesign. And you can I actually worked this off of a tutorial first. So, well, not a tutorial, a template. So there's lots of different free templates too you can kind of work off of and revamp and make your own. So yeah, hope that helps. Again, always just reach out to us if you have any questions or you get stuck. I'm pretty much, I have Basecamp on my phone all the time, so you can message me on there or ping me, whatever it's called on there. And I usually will be able to answer on my phone, at least kind of talk you through it or send you something that might help you. Otherwise, if you have me on Facebook, I'm always on there, so I'll definitely see it. Or just always go to the office and ask us, or message. You can try and message Chad. He's pretty busy, but you can try. So yeah. All right. Hope that helped. Stay tuned. I'll be doing the rest of these tools over here soon. Bye.